the edge of the end of the world, everyone. I'm your host, Swift Edge, and today we got something really fun, really creepy, and possibly going to make me feel all kinds of uncomfortable. I'm talking about the Glendale Archives from the Glendale Archives. There are about 7 videos in this. A lot of them are quite lengthy, so I hope you got your snacks and I hope you got your drinks. I hope you've had your water. We're going to see how one man deals with the fact of this world falling apart and it being very empty and looking like they're also dealing with some mental health struggles, which is always interesting to see that clash with post-apocalyptic stuff. I think it's gonna be really fun. I think it's gonna be really refreshing to see all these different points of views come together with horror. Before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to some of these lovely members in our community. Thank you all so much for being here. Love you all so very much. Thank you for the support and joining me on these days. If you want to go ahead and join the members, you can do so by clicking that join button. You get some pretty cool perks, like some fun emotes and getting to view videos 3 days early. Now, without further ado, the Glendale Archives.
All right, day 8 of squatting in this house. It's been really nice, actually.
8 days,
I've been able to sleep, shower, recharge. I even managed to get the electricity up and running. Not sure for how long. That means I have a working oven, which is really great. I try not to turn on any lights, especially at night, because I don't want to attract any attention to this house. But last night I messed up like an idiot. I leaned against the light switch and I turned on the living room lights and the house lit up like a jack-o'-lantern. Just for a second. And now this morning I see someone out in the woods, lurking around. Yeah, I see you.
That's a someone?
It could just be passing by.
That's not something?
Could be nothing, but makes me nervous. I haven't seen him in a few hours.
That makes me nervous. What the crap was that? That looked... I know you don't have a lot from what you were showing, but you should really invest yourself. Maybe like a bow and arrow or something. Like something protective. That's not going to make a lot of noise.
But it really makes me uneasy. So tonight, in addition to cooking my favorite meal, chicken parm, I'll be battening down the hatches, tightening the security, just in case whatever is out there is, isn't just passing.
Protecting a
First, I need to run out and get some groceries, so let's do that.
I mean, in a post-apocalyptic world, you kind of have to do that. The Nestor chicken parm. 2 very different titles. Honestly, though, I don't know if it's a post-apocalyptic world, if you can really say, like, oh, I'm squatting in this. I think at that point, you've just now taken it over. It is now your house. Like when it comes to zombie apocalypse, something's happened and majority of the population is gone.
Let's see. We need
I think you just own it.
Different things.
I don't know if I would trust any of the meat products. As much as you're like, oh, the power's on, stuff should still be running. I don't know if I trust it because depending on how long it's been sitting there. Now the box stuff, yes. The canned stuff, yes. Produce and meat? Are you hearing things? I don't think you need to leave money. There's no one telling you to pay.
You never know.
Trap security.
So as I mentioned, I need to prioritize security in this house tonight. I've identified about 3 weak points where an intruder could breach our defenses, and each requires its own special security system, if you will. Weak zone number 1 is the furnace room window. There's no lock on this window, so I've set up a tripwire. And about 7 feet 6 inches away, the average height of a nester, I've strategically positioned a knife upright. When triggered, the tripwire will send the blade straight into the upper chest or the face. Weak zone 2, the basement door. Now, the house is settled pretty unevenly,
this is a messed up Home Alone right here.
Impossible to keep locked. If a nester enters through here, they'll hear a tape recorder in the next room playing my voice saying the following.
Don't hurt me. Don't come in here, please.
The recording will lure them deeper inside, right into a sensor-triggered assault. Weak zone 3.
Oh,
the
he did have a
fourth
bow.
passage door.
Okay.
Now this leads directly into the same basement door with the broken locks. When someone opens this porch door, the friction will strike matches against an igniter that I've rigged. The matches will ignite a portable gas tank that's been slowly leaking gas all night, so hopefully burning any nester who tries to breach that passageway. And I've also installed noisemakers on all the door handles, so hopefully I'll hear them coming, and I'll see them coming, and that these traps will keep them out.
See, I love how prepared he is. I love seeing that you use what's around you. You use a lot of everyday products to protect yourself, which really, when it comes down to zombie apocalypse, mutant apocalypse, anything that has to deal with you fighting against things to survive, this is all brilliant. This is utilizing everyday items to the best of their abilities. What I also want to point out is I love how he's approaching this as if someone's going to find this, because this might also be for his sanity, because when you're not dealing with people every day, sometimes talking to a camera really helps. And you also never know who might find it one day and be like, oh, I got tips and tricks to survive the next day.
And I'll be able to sleep safely tonight.
That's what we hope for. All we can hope is that we live to see tomorrow, and you actually wake up when the noises go off, because that's all you really need, is to prepare all this, and then it goes to crap.
Alright, I'm gonna fillet the chicken now.
Oh, beautiful.
Right, now I'm gonna tenderize it. This ensures that the chicken is going to be nice and even all the way around.
Now we're getting cooking videos, guys. It's beautiful.
We're
Put
going
it
to
all
put
together.
some of this chicken in flour so it absorbs some of the moisture, and so the crispiness will stick up.
I really should make some homemade chicken parm. Now I'm getting hungry watching this. Feels weird knowing I should be both terrified and on the edge. And then now I'm getting hungry, mixing that all together.
Oh,
You silly goose.
just get rid of that.
Yeah, you don't want to waste too many eggs. Food is a resource that
the
cannot be
chicken
tossed aside.
in the egg batter.
There's something about cooking that just pulls me in. I love it.
Now it's time for what makes the chicken good. Panko.
Yeah.
Technically, the panko makes it like a chicken katsu. Some grated parm.
Ooh. Ooh. You brilliant man.
That's going to caramelize really nicely on the chicken. Now some salt and pepper.
Oh, yes. Well
this all
seasoned,
up.
my guy. I love this. You could probably do a little bit of spice in there. I would probably throw in some cayenne pepper just because I like spicy food. I love it when I get a little bit of
Now in
kick
the
with some
chicken
flavor.
goes.
Yeah, you better make sure all that's covered. Yeah. My favorite thing to do is making homemade chicken tenders. So you just take the chicken breast and you cut it into strips and doing pretty much this.
All right, now it is time to fry these bad boys up.
The only thing is he's got some light, so if
It's
he's
not
worried...
good to add the oil over an open flame, but I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get this oil nice and hot.
That's where I don't know how to feel about
Now you know the
gas
oil's
stoves for
ready
that.
when you dip the chicken in. It sizzles. Ooh, is that ready? That is ready. I'm actually going to lower the heat. That's insane. Now, personally, I like when it's very golden brown. I don't like when it's too pale. I like when it's crispy. Very crispy.
Okay, camera, do you not want to do that to me? Thank you very much. Like, I'm alive, right? Oh. I'm with him. Crispy chicken is amazing.
Alright, so let's get ready to broil the mozzarella cheese on.
I'm forgetting this is a horror.
Alright, here we go. Now I'm going to throw this into the oven and broil it.
Dude, I'm getting hungry now. You know, I don't blame the nesters for wanting to invade this house, because if that's all they're smelling, I would want to get in there too. Like, I'd want a bite of that.
While the chicken parm is cooking, I'm going to set up my sleeping quarters for the night, make a fire, set up my sleeping bag. I was sleeping in the living room before, but to be honest, it's too far from an exit. And given that there was that stranger outside earlier, makes sense to be close to the exit, you know, in case anything happens. It makes it convenient, you know. Kitchen's right here. Can make a midnight snack. So I'm gonna set up the fire for the evening.
I mean, also if you're sleeping next to the fire,
base.
it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be hot, but you grab a wood out. If something runs towards you, just grab it and chuck it. It makes for a good weapon. Right in the moment, you're gonna need something, especially if you've got to dive out of a window. Hey, yo, wait, better watch it now, mister. Keep it PG.
Oh, I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry. Full moon tonight.
This is actually wise. In a lot of instances of world
sauce.
ending,
this particular sauce I found, it's called Michael's of Brooklyn. Tomatoes, fresh garlic, fresh basil, Italian olive oil, oregano, fresh parsley, salt, black pepper, and nothing else, it says in big exclamation points. You can't read that.
That's the thing. He didn't season much of, like, besides salt and pepper. That's where I would have added cayenne pepper because I like my spice. But then when you add the sauce and it's all these seasonings in there, it's just... I can forgive for not throwing much more in with the chicken. Because I probably would have added oregano and some Italian herbs in there for the chicken. But he's already doing that with the sauce. So that's where you can do that nice trade-off.
You always put the sauce on last so it doesn't get soggy. And of course, last but not least, basil. And that is it. Bon appetit.
Beautiful.
I'm so hungry. Let's see how this tastes.
Usually I like doing that with some pasta. Oh. That sounded beautiful.
It's amazing.
My stomach is actually grumbling right now.
Chicken pie forever.
I mean, when it's the end of the world, it's kind of hard to have certain things like lasagna, pizza, chicken parm.
All that walking around today got me hungry.
But are you not also worried about maybe being attacked during the day?
Really freaked me out outside. I think that anxiety just takes a lot out of me.
I mean, when you're worried about being attacked, it's gonna eat at you.
There's like nothing like really good chicken parm.
That's one thing no one really addresses in any kind of survival horror, whether it be books, TV shows, comics. No one really dives deep into having to deal with the stress and anxiety and the worry day in and day out of, I just want to live through today. No one really talks about this, so I kind of like that we're getting this scene and we're seeing the mental toll being taken.
So you really have to tenderize it and flatten it out so it becomes more like a chicken cutlet.
Mm-hmm. Man knows what he's talking
I've
about.
got like restaurants where you go and you get the chicken and or any dish and it's like not good. It's like you should be losing sleep to make sure that your chicken is flavorful. You go to a chicken place and like the skin comes off the chicken, all the flavors on top, it's in the skin. And then like the chicken itself is just like bland.
Actually, I know what he's talking about. That sucks.
I do miss restaurants. I miss people cooking for me.
It's the little things when the world
Glad I
ends.
learned a few recipes.
This is why everyone should know how to cook. Because things go wrong, you gotta know how to take care of yourself. Or you just load up on cans of beans.
Oh. Man, I'm lonely tonight. Particularly lonely. Just sort of missing some camaraderie, I think.
That'll happen.
Tell you what I don't miss about people right now. It's feeling in debt to people. You know, emotionally more than anything. You know, being predator to other people's unresolved issues. Feeling obligated to give my time.
This is why I think introverts would love the end of the world and not having to deal with people. Like, oh.
I always would put boundaries around my time.
Which is vital and important.
Sometimes I felt like I had to lie to people because people can be really selfish with your time. If they thought that they could get more from you, they take it.
That's why walls are important. Gotta give yourself
That's what I
you
always
time.
hated about having a job. There was always this sense that when you work for someone, they expect you to they expect to squeeze every bit of time they can out of you because
Yes!
they're paying you. And they're not going to pay you for nothing.
Then it starts taking a
There
toll.
are people who believe that because they're giving you money, the money that they know you need to live, they can take advantage of you. They assume that if you need the job, you'll do whatever they ask, no matter how stupid or pointless it is, because after all, they're paying you.
So I'll give you time out this when the world ends, otherwise he'd probably never get hired again if people are still
miss that.
around.
Money created this like really sick relationship with other people.
That's why it's named the root of all
Once
evil.
someone gives you money, it becomes a trap and it's really hard to escape. You know, I used to hate having a boss breathe down my neck. Ugh.
Many do.
I'd work an 8-hour shift, and honestly, I'd probably only worked 2 of those hours. The rest of the time, I just walk around with my clipboard, pretending to be busy. I'd move quickly, you know, like I had somewhere important to be, just to look productive. That's what a boss likes to see. Motion.
He
They
broke
wanna
the code.
see you doing something, even when the real work only took like 2 hours.
Stop, man, you're breaking the code.
You know, if they catch you sitting, they
You're
get
revealing the
pissed,
secrets.
even if there's nothing left to do. You know? So I'd fake it. I'd walk around, look busy, you know, make them feel like they're getting their money's worth, but they weren't.
You can definitely tell he's in this
It's
state
like-
of
it's like-
loneliness.
They'd rather see you miserable and in motion than calm and at ease. Makes no sense.
Because when you're
It's like they
looking
need to
miserable,
see struggle
says
if they're
productivity.
justified in paying you. So I
it's
pretended,
not good.
because if I didn't, I'd get shit for it. You know.
Okay, and again, I want to point out, this is where he's having that sense of conversation and camaraderie with the camera, and this is how he's pouring out and trying to make sure he stays sane. Because he's talking about missing with people with this, not missing this, but he's sharing an outlet with the camera so that he can still feel like he's able to stay grounded, to stay in conversating with someone. Because, I mean, what can you do in that moment? And I love that we're actually seeing that there's a mental toll being taken on him. Even though he's saying, oh, I don't miss this, you can also see he does miss it. He's pointing out, yeah, I'm feeling lonely tonight. But then he goes on to talk about, oh, I don't. But in reality, he really does feel so lonely.
And life is already hard enough. You know, you don't need someone coming down on you for being efficient. You know. Now I know if I said that to an employer or a business owner, they probably think I'm the worst type of employee. But
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Do you expect me to care about selling bullshit plastic products while I'm spending my finite time being here? Yeah. Now, I know it wasn't my boss, personally. But it was what he represented, It was the whole system built so, like, rich people could get richer and everybody else sort of wastes their time. And maybe if I wasn't forced to make money, I'd have time to foster the skills that truly make an impact, but
It's all of us
that
really
isn't
want.
realistic, though.
No, sadly. That's the unfortunate side of it all.
As much as I miss my family, they kept asking me to get a cell phone. I remember thinking to myself, like, no, I'm not doing that, Because once they knew I had a phone,
They'd want to reach out to you all the time.
I'd be available to them all the time. And I don't want to be available to people all the time.
Oh my gosh, this is
Sometimes
so
I even lie
relatable
and
right
say,
now.
I'm going to be out when I was actually going to be home, just so I had an excuse not to answer. And,
He's breaking the
maybe
codes,
that's
man.
selfish.
He's cracked the
Maybe
code.
I just, didn't want to talk. Maybe I just wanted to be left alone. Getting a cell phone felt like it was inviting people into my life on demand, and I didn't want that.
Oh, it's so real.
Just like, it's not natural for people to have that kind of access to another person. I don't know, that's at least what I think. And I know it probably comes from an inability to disappoint people. Some would say, why don't you just say no if they ask, but
Because sometimes it's hard.
I don't know, sometimes no doesn't feel like a complete sentence. If I said I wasn't available, they want a reason. And maybe the reason is I just, like, I don't want to talk right now, or I was planning to watch a movie.
And people are not
sounds
satisfied
small,
with those
but
answers.
It wasn't to me. I wasn't.
That makes you sound selfish, which is not
Maybe that's
right.
what I needed, Feels like modern day communication was the thief of life.
I like
After
that
a long
line.
day, sometimes all I wanted to do to unwind was just, relax. Just relax. But saying I need to relax never felt like a good enough reason to fall short of somebody else's expectations, even though it should have been. So I didn't ask for it, I just took it. And if I had to lie to protect that time, I did. Because I shouldn't have to justify wanting peace. And I know, that's avoidant.
It's funny
Maybe
how it
that
took the
was
end of the world,
life-challenging
people
to
being
grow,
gone,
but sometimes I
to now
just
have
don't
your own time.
want to grow. Sometimes I just want to rest. Defeats the purpose of relaxing if I have to grow while doing it. Sometimes I want to say no to the challenge. Put a boundary around life itself, which sounds arrogant because it's impossible.
Life just be life, and though,
maybe
that's the thing.
it's a mirror showing me something about myself that, I don't want to see. My unhealthy desire to numb, my avoidance. Maybe it's showing me something deeper, I don't know. Maybe the truth is I really was afraid I was incapable of connecting with other people the way I wanted to. And that I would never feel close to my family and my friends, not the way I wanted to. At least, and maybe that's why I kept telling myself that people only want to use my time, because it's easier to believe that than to imagine that they actually wanted to spend time with me, get to know me. You know?
You're definitely seeing a lot more of the mental health struggle going through with this. You're definitely seeing that there's tolls of now being alone. You're seeing in his own conversation of how he's feeling, and now you almost feel like he's got this security blanket because now he doesn't have to deal with family, friends, work at all, that he can now say these things that he couldn't vent out. And that's the thing, sometimes you need the right environment to be able to say how you're really feeling, to really get the point across. And it's wild that it took people being gone and the world pretty much being done for him to feel safe enough to say that, which is sad. And that's where, I mean, it's always encouraging to have people in your life that you can actually go to and be like, hey, I need to be able to say this. Hopefully you won't judge me for it, but this is how I'm feeling.
You know, some days this self-hatred really runs so deep, and I still can't picture people actually wanting to talk to me just to talk to me. It's safer to believe that everybody is a time-sucking vampire than to actually risk rejection.
It hurts, but that's also part of life.
You know, I don't know when I became so guarded. I never really felt safe around other people. You know, if something bad happened, I never felt safe enough to share the pain with someone else, so I faced it alone. And with nowhere to let it out.
Again, this feels very relatable.
Years and years until it got so deep, I couldn't tell you where it began or how to talk about it, you know? People would ask me, what's wrong? I'd just say, I don't know.
It's easier than trying to divulge all this information. It's just easier to say,
I used
like,
to
oh,
tell
I'm
myself
fine.
that
Oh, I
when
don't
the
know.
pain gets great, when it gets great enough, I'll share. I didn't want to bother
Then it
anybody.
just becomes a
It
mountain.
felt like, you know, it's not bad enough yet to burden others yet. And then one day, my brother died. And I still couldn't share the pain.
Because you built up that wall, and you didn't know how to take it down.
Keep putting it off, it's bottomless. It won't end until I make a beginning. And that loneliness, it just breeds anger, blame, bitterness. I'd given anything to let that go. I just didn't know how.
Now it kind of feels a little late to do so.
So when I'm alone, I don't have to face any of that, you know? I'm not disturbed. So anyway, I have my affirmation I tell myself every day, and preparing me for when I see other people again. And it goes like this. I am likable and I attract genuine connection. So, I say that to myself every day. Pretty good, right? But when people enter the picture, everything surfaces. Resentment, worry, doubt, fear. Giving my time forced me to confront all of that. And it pushes me to speak up when staying quiet would just feel so much more comfortable and safer. So yeah, I'm protective of my time. Not a good that's doing me now.
Well, now you have all the time.
And it's really because anything that wants to take it also stirs up everything that I'm still trying to keep buried. Anyway, that's it.
See, and this is just giving humanity to everything. This is stuff that gets glossed over.
Hey,
When you see other post-apocalyptic survival horrors, survivor thrillers, we gloss over all this. You don't see the
tasty
toll.
meal.
That was a tasty conversation, my man.
Oh. Alright. See you in the morning.
I was thinking that this is like really divulging into, or like diving in and divulging every piece of information of like, what is it like going through all this? What is it like being by yourself and having to endure all this garbage? And now we're actually seeing it, and it gives humanity to it. It pulls you in. Although I'm kind of over that noise.
That's fire. That's definitely fire.
What? Something tried to get in. Wait. What the crap was that? Was that his fire trap that went off? If so, well, at least we know it works. This went for so, like, relatable and connecting with so much to terrifying, and it is beautiful because you almost forget for a moment that this is in fact a found footage analog horror series. Gosh, I need to go into the next one.
Okay.
This is The World Is Finally Empty.
House.
Oh! Day 4.
I haven't seen another person in 81 days.
Went from day 8 to day 4?
A couple days ago, I decided to suit up and head north into the surrounding hills.
Oh, maybe different area now?
Alright, we're heading out, so I hope I don't die. I found a
Looks
map
like a
here,
similar house.
barely intact, but enough to help me navigate what was ahead.
It's a big cup of coffee.
Very chilly out today.
Maybe it's a different house, but the bottom area looked similar. Dick's Sporting Goods! Honestly, sporting stores and hunting stores
I also
would
keep
be
my CB
amazing.
radio set to directional, and gives me some warning if there's some danger within 5 miles. So, if I hear anything, I change course.
Wise. But what causes
Yeah, I
those
don't
signals?
trust that. So, I'm definitely gonna veer in a different direction.
What causes
The
that
map led me to
flare?
3 different locations: the mall, an underground concourse, and some type of museum. Places that used to be crowded.
Now, not so much.
The suburbs are empty, that's for sure. Rows of houses, all vacant, so I thought, if anybody's still out there, they'd be here.
Okay. Log to the journey. Because, again, I'm kind of so confused because now we're on day 4 when we were on day 8. Is there...
When I reached the first location,
Are we
I
watching
felt
things
pretty
out of order?
optimistic.
Oh, now that would just make me think I'm in the back rooms, and I would just leave. I'd walk in, see all that, I'm out. I don't need the wiry monster bacteria creature running after me.
So far, not very promising.
I mean, yeah, you're not probably going to find a lot of
Unfortunately, I think
people.
this place is pretty empty. There's not much here. It really puts me on edge that I can see everything and there's really no place to hide here.
But what are we fully hiding from? What is a nester? Haven't really gone into that much information about the things that we're dealing with in this world now.
Let me go see if I can find out where that sound is coming from.
Are nesters just regular people? Are they twisted forms of things or people? Like, we're not getting a lot of detail in that. Maybe we'll get to find out more in this. And of course, like, it's the curiosity because you've been alone for so long. And now it's like, oh, am I going to find people? Or am I going to find problems? You always kind of have to be pessimistic and be like, I think I'm going to find problems.
Alright, let's see if any of these doors lead to a bunker full of custodians. I don't know.
Mm-mm. Like, I'm not really well trained with firearms, but I don't think I could do a lot of this without a firearm. I don't want to deal with the end of the world without some form of protection.
These are all locked.
And yeah, you don't want to... My main thought was just kick in the door. You don't want to create too much noise. Then you're creating problems.
Well, I wish I had some quarters.
Break open the vending machines. Get all the drinks.
Can't believe these are still running.
What is actually supplying the power to this place? There's a void of population, but yet things are still running. That's kind of throwing me a lot.
Man, this like really makes me hungry because there's a food court here.
Oh, I was like, huh?
Makes me think of like Nathan's hot dogs or something. I could really go for one.
Oh,
Don't think that's gonna happen.
I'd miss hot dogs. I'd miss cheeseburgers.
No offense, but this looks like a shitty place to work in its day.
I think malls, when they were just bustling, probably about 10 years ago, because malls aren't that busy now, I think would just be, ugh, gross. One thing I also have noticed is there's not a lot of wildlife. We're not hearing a lot of birds. We're not seeing stray dogs, cats. We're not seeing
At least I see no
anything.
nesters.
Okay, but what is a nester exactly? We got a glimpse in the first entry in this series, but not really talking about too much. And that's where you see in a lot of these analog horrors found footage that people kind of create a log of like what you're dealing with, how to survive this. And we're getting very different, which throws my brain of what it's used to, but I'm also loving this. I'm drawn in. Because it's kind of breaking that mold. It's breaking the code and the rules and guidelines of what you normally see in a lot of this. And I like it. I like it when it stands out and it's its own thing and it's different. Now I'm getting chills. What the crap?
Seems like where it's coming from.
Didn't find an answer.
There's absolutely nothing in there. That was a recording
Huh.
of someone who I think has been here in the past.
Maybe they had the same kind of thought process you had in the first entry. Was leave a recording, a tract, so then they can run.
I spent around an hour and a half exploring the mall. It was getting pretty late, and I needed to keep moving. I also saw a figure that I've encountered before moving towards me. I call him Mr. Whiteout.
What?
He sounds harmless, but I don't know, something in me just doesn't trust him.
I think that instinct is spot on because when you are again in this kind of human voidless world, when you're in a humanless place and you have something like that following you, be on guard, be wary, never let that instinct, that thought at the back of your head that goes, no, don't trust that. Don't put it down and be like, meh. No, trust that. Trust that feeling.
My next stop is a series of underground tunnels called Concourse B.
I don't like the idea of being underground.
I expected public transit, you know, trains connecting nearby towns. But instead, I found passageways linking offices, food.
Wait, hold on.
Is it? You know, trains
Manhattan,
connecting
Queens.
nearby towns.
At least now we know where we
But
are.
instead, I found passageways linking offices, food courts, state buildings, things like that. With the parking structures below, it must have been packed with workers at some point moving beneath the city.
Yeah. That is weird to think about it being New York
So
City,
hungry.
and it's
You
empty.
can get really cornered in one of those kitchens, or else I'd fry up a deluxe.
Yeah, you don't need that. You don't need to be
I
corralled
don't think
into
I'm gonna go
death.
too deep into this because it's very maze-like, and I don't want to get lost and not be able to get back outside.
And you also don't want to run into a dead end and a trap. Yeah, I love when you take bustling places like New York City, Chicago, Toronto, and you just make them void. Not a single soul, not a single
Painting.
speck of
It's
life.
beautiful.
It's so uneasy and it's so eerie, and I love it. It's a perfect setting for horror and survival.
Yeah, I should get out of here.
What is that? What was that noise?
At this point, it was getting pretty dark, and I was 3 hours from home.
Ooh.
I had a little fun on the way to the next location, and then, you know, I don't know what I was thinking, because it started to get dark out. Woo! It's like I lost 2 hours of my time.
I deserve ice cream.
Like, I was playing with my radio and acting like an idiot. It's too late to walk back. I was lucky.
What was that?
It's too late to walk back.
Nah, we see something or some things in there. This is where you gotta track your time. He's so big on time, and then he's losing it. Bro.
I was lucky. Some of the towns I passed through still had working electricity. I assume
boy.
they're connected to some industrial-sized power center that hadn't yet failed. When I got far from the cities, the darkness was pretty blinding. I hadn't seen a landmark in over an hour, and, you know, out of the darkness now, it appeared.
What? Mother trucker what?
It wasn't ideal, but I needed shelter.
Oh, it's a playground.
At any moment, I could have run into a nester, so I had to do something. So I slept inside the enclosed slide. It was not comfortable, but it worked.
Not comfortable, impractical,
When I
and
woke, I
terrifying.
continued on my travels. The last place I visited was the taxidermy house. It used to be a family
Yeah.
attraction. Walking through it now, I kept mistaking the
Oh, heck
stillness
no.
for life. Everything looked alive, but it wasn't. Just empty forms stuffed
eyes.
with microfiber.
The eyes, man. Not in this scenario. I'm good. Because what if a nester decides to be playful, like, and then you're not looking,
Hello,
then
ma'am. Don't worry. I'm gonna take your little cub or whatever you call it.
Don't look at me. I don't know. I don't know what the baby would be. Yeah, you can definitely see the sanity is slipping a little bit, but maybe it's
Hello.
also his way of trying to stay sane.
Hey, there's some guys doing some work over here. I feel like this guy would really hate me if he was alive.
If one of those things moves, I'd be booking it out of there. The Roadrunner would not even be able to catch me.
Okay, I think we're leaving the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle, baby. You're gonna die.
What is this, like Aquatic World or something?
Yeah. Why not have it all?
One little room for the entire ocean. That's pretty generous. Ooh, Model T. Wouldn't mind taking this puppy out for a spin.
Well, now you can actually get on top of it, and no one can stop you.
Alright, I'm gonna get going.
As I walked home, I thought about nesters. I really don't know much about them.
Oh,
Only
okay.
that they can shift from calm to hostile in seconds. Once they settle somewhere, infestation usually follows. I've encountered that. They look human, but
They're not?
something is off about them. Something is just not normal. I'm glad to be back home in front of this warm fire with this mug of hot cocoa.
Ooh, okay, so not coffee.
I didn't find anyone, no, but maybe tomorrow I'll head south towards the water.
So we're getting more information about the creatures. Not a whole lot, but we're getting some. Oh, that's not what I thought I was going to see when I started this.
I decided to come up north last night
What happened to south? What happened to the water?
just to get away.
Away from what?
I actually found this place a while back, traveling from the city to Big House.
Okay.
Thinking about my recovery today. My recovery from bad habits, trauma, the grief. Just never feels like I'm doing enough for my own recovery.
That's how
Especially
it
now
usually
in
feels
my
and goes.
current circumstances where I feel such a lack of security that I don't have time to spend addressing anything that's going on inside. And now with the mirror of other people gone, I don't know. I used
That's
to
a
see
lot.
people judging my habits, and I'd feel this pressure. Now I gotta change something, but I can't. Or I don't want to. It's true, I don't want to. I wondered if anybody else felt that way ever. Like, you're addicted to something. I know it's hurting me and likely other people, but truthfully, I just don't want to stop. To say that I don't want to stop, it's terrifying, you know? To say that to another person is terrifying because it doesn't feel acceptable to say. You know, the truth is, I'm in pain.
Yeah.
It's not getting better. And I
Straight
don't
up.
want to work on it.
And that is where, when you're dealing with people who go through addictions of any kinds, it has to start from, as much as it helps to point out, like, hey, this is how what you're going through is making me feel. That's great how it's making you feel. How is it making the person feel? Like, you have to want the change. That's the biggest part, is you have to want the change. You have to want to go, hey, I'm in pain. I'm using this to cope. And now you want to go, I don't want to use this to cope. I actually want to find healthier options. And that is where, like, dealing with addiction issues, that's where a lot of people will turn to using the gym, using professional therapy, using various other forms of therapy that then go away from, like, hey, I'm in pain, to now I'm focused on this because now this allows me to feel this way. But the biggest thing it comes down to is people have to make that choice themselves. You can't force, as much as we all want people to be healed, the person has to want to be healed first.
But it's the truth, and the truth is the truth. I don't want to stop. I needed someone who could hear me say that, but I could never muster the courage. Because to admit that I don't want to stop something that is hurting me, it opens me up for what I fear the most. Being abandoned. You know? It opens the door for somebody to finally say, you're right. You're not worth it if you don't behave. But,
Like, it's that
what is
ultimate
behaving
rejection.
anyway?
Doesn't want that rejection.
Not inconveniencing you. Not inconveniencing other people. I mean, this is me. Now, I mean, you can argue that in the face of addiction that it's not you technically, but the fear that drives me to it is part of me, whether that fear is real or made up. It's insane how I contorted myself. I twist myself into an acceptable version of myself for other people, everyone else. And who makes these ideals? These expectations that were judged by Hollywood?
Well, they do a lot.
Religion? Or just general societal fear of repeating history? I don't know. I don't know.
Getting real philosophical and deep at the end of the world.
Of course, there are bad things out there. Objectively, I can't imagine anyone agreeing with intentionally or overpowering someone or treating someone less than human. I don't. So then I think about the things that we call bad but aren't. I mean, I don't think death, a natural disaster, fit that category. Death isn't bad, it's just unknown. It's just scary. A natural disaster is just Earth doing its thing. It's not acting with bad intentions.
The Earth just be
is
earthen.
what it is.
It's just its own cycle.
Anyway, all this makes me think of who I molded myself to be for other humans. Also that, God forbid, I wouldn't be abandoned and left for dead. And look at me now. I mean, it happened anyway.
Got the ultimate Uno reverse. Got the ultimate
not
of
so
like,
sure it
I don't want
matters
this
anymore.
feeling, but, well,
I mean, I don't have to be anything anymore. I don't have to be a man, whatever that means. I can cry anytime, anywhere. I can be afraid without the worry of what it says about me. Makes me wonder why I didn't allow myself to do it earlier.
well, again, it's weird how it takes the end of the world to break off so much. To be free of so much.
Makes me wonder why I didn't just maybe pretend like people were gone all along. But then again, how can I learn to accept these things if no one is around to witness it? How can I be accepted for it and prove the fear wrong if there's no one there?
Well, then at that point, you're just trying to make yourself
Guess so.
accept it.
Just have to learn to accept it for myself.
Right there. That right there.
Anyway, we got a nester. 2 o'clock, so
What?
I'm gonna get out of here before it catches me.
Oh, that's all kinds of effed up. What is it gonna do to you if it catches you? That's something that's never talked about, because he's talked about how it's been hostile. These things can immediately get aggravated, but he doesn't know too much about it. But I'd love to know if he knows what happens if they get you.
About a week ago, I decided that I had to leave the city.
Oh? What made you want to leave?
It's been forever since I've seen another human.
I mean, you are in Manhattan and it's now just completely vacant, which is still wild to think about.
The city was just getting way too dangerous.
More nesters showing up or what?
I was pretty much barricaded inside my apartment.
Oh, no, gun. Immediately
except
going
to
to find me.
occasionally grab some supplies.
Immediately going to find another gun. Or like 20.
The nesters started showing up near my apartment, and then another.
What the crap? I know you don't know much about these things, but it's might be time to do a little bit of
I realized
research.
it wasn't the place. It was my routine.
They were recognizing your
So I had to
pattern?
leave.
That's even wild. Even wilder to think about
I
as
decided to make my way upstate to my childhood home.
is an entity being able to figure out
Deep in the suburbs.
your habits.
The population is obviously lower, so I assumed less nesters. It's also vacant. It has been for a while, which makes it feel safer. Fewer places to hide, which means fewer reasons to move.
Okay, so now we've been going backwards is the big thing. Because we started off when he was on day 8 of being in his childhood home. So we kind of, with this, saw that he was in the Big Ol' Apple, in the big ol' city, surrounded by too many issues. And I mean, it's smart. You go out to lower, less populated areas, being out in the country. And again, I think I've mentioned it so many times already about zombie apocalypses, is that's probably the smartest thing to do. Being out in the country is a lot wiser than being out in condensed areas where you're going to be a lot more infected. Now, do we know if the nesters are people that got infected and turned? No idea, because like he's already stated, he doesn't know a whole lot, which means we don't know a whole lot, so all we can do is speculate from what we see.
No surprises.
No surprises is good.
A lot of times I think I'm alone in a house, but I'm not.
Why you gotta be so
here.
ominous?
I feel safe. I feel somewhat comforted because I know the history that's in these walls.
They're in the walls.
I figure-
Sorry.
If I'm gonna go down,
We get some backstory with this.
I want to go down here.
No, I had a bad joke. I had such a bad joke.
It cut my travel time in half if I walked through the mountains rather than around. But first I needed to navigate the interstate roadways.
Gotta map everything out and plan out your best moves.
I never thought in my life that I'd see them this empty.
That is actually crazy to think about, is walking on very populated roads to then seeing nothing.
It's brisk up here.
Take a look at this.
But you also gotta think, that is the most enjoyable experiences when you get to have it all to yourself. My lord, that is a gorgeous view. Oh, is that where he was walking around and
Eventually,
talking before?
nighttime began to set in.
I would not want to be out in the mountains, in the forest, in the woods, in the snow, and late at night, because that is where it's going to get really cold and it's going to really hurt your bones. But, you know, if nesters are
So it's
also
getting
out,
pretty dark out, and
can't stop.
I'm picking up a nester about maybe a quarter mile out. It's just getting too dangerous to continue on foot. I have to find like a mountain house or something. I know there's some up in these mountains. Just gotta find one, and
I pray it doesn't get too dark, because then it's going to be impossible to see one.
How are you tracking them with that? Why are they giving off frequencies? What the heck are these creatures? What are these entities that they're capable of being picked up in a radio? These entities are something else entirely, and I love them. They are so creepy. The fact that they can pick up signals.
There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
It gives me this unknown horror, which I'm all here for. Too many times do we deal with cliches.
I did take a look at my map,
Never getting something very different.
and I see that there is a clearing on the terrain, just a ways up north here. So I'm gonna pray that it is not just a site for some previous architecture or something. I'm praying that it's
Empty?
a house or something.
You definitely want it
Because
to
it
be
is
empty.
not getting lighter.
No. And in the
I gotta
winter
turn this thing
months,
off for a while.
As luck would have it, I stumbled upon a house deep in the woods.
and it has something in it. Because what is that noise? I love the chapters that are given for these segments. That's the thing. A lot of people might be against weapons, might be against guns, and you know what? I respect it. Not everyone's all for things, but when it comes to the end of the world type stuff, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Like, Are you not worried about the light on your camera attracting anything? Are those Lincoln logs? That's a cool looking bear. Dude, I'm ready to fight.
Guess this will have to do.
The house was warm and cozy. It
Okay.
was a safe haven in the midst of a snowy desert.
Anything will do at that point.
Got a nice fire going. His signal's getting pretty weak, so
We like that.
I'd say he's probably about 3 miles out now. So
It could be a trick.
I think we're safe here for the night.
It still confuses me though. How is there getting to be a signal on them? Like, unless they are mutated remnants of the human population that have just kept technology on them, or there's something about their turning or creation that gives off this frequency, it doesn't make sense how they're being picked up. Oh!
The next morning when I woke up, I couldn't believe the view that was hiding in the dark the night before.
Can we talk about the view you had in the middle of the night? That was all kinds of wrong. Why are they so active at night but not a whole lot during the day? It kind of gives me the I Am Legend vibes.
It had been a while since I'd seen anything that beautiful.
That is a gorgeous
I
view.
stayed for a while longer. Took part in some activities that made me feel normal.
Puzzles are nice and relaxing. Wouldn't playing music though attract if they are drawn to light and noise? That's coming home with me now.
Break 19, this is Tricky Spinner, do you copy?
He just given up any other cool nickname, but you're going with Tricky Spinner?
Eventually,
Just kidding.
it was
It's a pretty
time
fun
to
name.
leave.
Okay, listen. I said it was a fun name. No one get mad at me.
After a while, I could feel the air was changing. The trees were getting more sparse. The snow was melting a little.
Like that. Love that.
I was
Tired of snow.
descending from the mountains. Before I knew it, I began seeing familiar landmarks.
It's got to bring a level of comfort.
But the evening snuck up on me quick that day, and I was still a few miles from home.
The diner.
Alright, I found it, a diner.
Ooh, it's an old retro style too. I love those. I love finding those. I don't know why. As soon as I see them, I'm like, I'm eating well here. I know. I'm gonna be treated like family. I'm getting, if I ask for coffee, I know I'm getting refills upon refills, and I know that food is going to smack. Oh. But when it's in the middle of an apocalypse, nope. I will avoid those.
I sat for a moment, weighing whether it was worth turning on the electricity and opening up the kitchen.
No, probably not.
Since the kitchen and dining room had no windows, I decided it would be safe.
Oh, you fool. I would not take the chance.
I brewed myself a cup of French roast coffee.
Oh, talk dirty to me with that coffee. I get weird, man. I love my coffee. Ooh, look at it. Look at it just mixing together. Magnifique.
The warmth and familiar comfort of the drink lifted my spirits,
Oh, I'd go nuts without coffee in the end of the
easing me
world.
towards the promise of a long sleep in a warm building.
So the thing is, you end up forgetting some of your simple comforts, and you regret taking them for
This spot is
granted.
as good as any to park up for the night. I'm gonna sleep in this booth. I've slept in worse. Good night.
You kind of take what you get. That's the sucky part.
The next day, I headed straight for home. Finally, I had reached a very familiar sight,
Yeah, it's
the
beautiful,
edge of
isn't
my
it?
neighborhood. I had made it home.
The big house. Where it eventually gets
All right,
tricked up.
my house is just beyond this hill here. So we're getting in early. I'm glad about that. I gotta move because it's getting dark.
That's right.
The sun is starting to set here.
Mm.
So
Nothing's following you, which is nice.
here we go. Okay, I gotta be mindful of these. There are steps here. There could be a nester. So I really gotta be careful. There it is. Alright, I think I'm gonna go in through the basement. It seems like the best route.
I had to be quick because I really didn't want a nester to see me approaching the house.
Oh, please, younger me, I've forgotten to lock this.
Dear
Luckily,
younger me.
the window's unlocked. I've learned a preemptive approach to entering a strange building. I'll leave my CB radio with the volume all the way up.
Let's back up and give it some room.
If nothing comes, I generally know it's safe.
I don't know if I want
We're
to.
good.
I entered through the basement and gave it a walkthrough.
I don't know if I'd want to see something immediately grab at it. It also hasn't really shown that he's willing to fight any of these things, which kind of makes me think that they are insanely
Sure,
dangerous. And that they will overpower him with ease.
Better check the wine closet.
How fancy schmancy is this house? They got a whole wine closet.
All looks clear.
Walking upstairs into the living room, I was struck by all the memories that flooded me.
This is where we spend most of the time.
Felt like time had left me behind.
There's that thing he likes to discuss his time, because it is valuable. Time is a necessity
Gas doesn't work.
and a
I
privilege.
even found proof that I was once here. My and a childhood friend's name that we etched inside the wooden beams. That gave me a sense of comfort. I don't know why.
Because it's security and peace.
This was my room. I better check this storage space.
I used to live in a house that had little cubbies, kind of like this. Freaked me out as a kid. Still would probably freak me out as an adult. Especially after hearing about movies like Parasite
This was my brother's room.
and real life situations where people will just
It used to
live
look a lot bigger.
in those. Mm-mm.
Typically by now, we would have run into somebody. A nester. I'm pretty sure this house is clear, which is good. A lot of these homes are furnished, which means that there's more resources in the house. More resources just means more like trouble you can run into.
Yeah. So the fact that it's so
Garage.
bare bones is really nice. Oh, it's so noisy.
I forgot about the attic. Okay, I think we're safe.
Honestly, so many good escape routes in this
This is a
place.
great place to nest right here because I can put a fire in this fireplace. I can cook some food on the fire because the gas stove's not working. And here's the big thing. Plenty of routes out. So I can escape through this big door. Plenty of windows. I can escape back through and through the basement. Or I can go over here in the kitchen where there is 2 exits. I prefer not to go upstairs because that's a place where I've been cornered before. The main thing is there's
So he's dealt with
there's
problems in the
no
past.
buddy here. There's no one living here now. So that's good. And that means that I can park up right here. I got some bread, some cheese, some butter, some
Oh.
garlic. And I'm
Ooh.
gonna get a good night's rest. And we'll see. Maybe I'll stay here a couple days.
Sounds like
There's
an
a lot of
amazing
things in
recipe
this
for grilled
area that I would
cheese.
like to scavenge for potential. Thanks. Could be some good stuff around here.
It was getting dark, so I began setting up
Love
my
it.
room for the night.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Certain meals are better than nothing. Beans, grilled cheese, ham and Swiss.
So it's nearly
Perfect.
nightfall, so I think it's a good time to start building the fire. Now with the fire, I like to start with a 3-layered base, a 3-log base. This gives the embers a place to fall and continue to burn. Without a solid base, the embers just fall, hit the stone, and then they burn out. So this will help our fire last a lot longer.
Smart, 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 smart.
Next, we're going to build walls around the base. I like Lincoln log pattern myself. Usually I build these walls a lot higher, but I'm going to be cooking a grilled cheese on this later, so put a log on top. Yeah,
See?
you want to give everything a destination, you know? The embers go down, the flames go up. So next we're going to stuff the fire with some of the debris I got earlier. Got some sticks.
Important. Gotta have your kindling.
Birch wood.
And of course, Old Faithful,
Leaves.
some
Crumpled
dried up
leaves.
So put
That's
some
pretty much how I would be in the middle of the box with just
sides.
random burps.
top here. This is a concoction actually my grandfather taught me. He was a farmer, and he was very, very skilled in woodworking and tractor mechanics, so he always had sawdust and old motor oil lying around, and one day he decided to combine them, and what resulted was a very slow burning concoction.
Ooh.
And we called it fire starter. So sprinkle some of this on top.
Beautiful.
Some
Farmers got some
Pimento
really
rolls.
great tips for a lot of that.
Look at that view.
Honestly, I feel like a lot of farmers and ranchers would
I
survive
felt
a
safe
lot
for the
longer than
first
other
time
people.
in weeks. And then I found it.
Okay, it's nearly dark.
I found it. Weeks. And then
I felt safe for the first time in weeks.
I found it.
Okay.
It's nearly dark.
So I'm assuming he found a nester.
I'm a little freaked out right now. Because, like an idiot, I didn't check every nook and cranny of this place. And I found this. I found a nest.
Oh, crap.
I mean, this is the room that I came in at. So, like, I was just so damn eager to check the rest of the house that I didn't think to open this freaking closet.
Oh, that's not good. So something's gonna come back. Something is 100% gonna come back if that's their home. I guess that's why they're also called nesters? Oh, you can see handprints on the wall.
I'm just like freaked out because it's too late to go anywhere else. I don't know if this is a live nest. It's like no wonder this window is open.
Man, it is too dark for this.
There's a lock on the door upstairs. And I'm just gonna lock it.
Ooh, I'm antsy
Lock
now.
all the doors and it should be fine. I just pray that. I just pray that's a dead nest. It could very well be. I mean, that happens all the time. Just,
Just move from place to place.
it's just they never leave their sleeping bag. They never leave their pillow. I mean, why would you do that unless you were
Coming back.
coming back?
I couldn't let it break me.
Okay, so this just begs more questions about what are these things, because they, like him, have bedding. They have an entire set of knickknacks that they're keeping, but yet the way they look, the way they act is all strange. And that would also explain maybe why they have an actual frequency going up, is because that they have electronics on them. Maybe that's why they're being drawn to electronics. But it just seems like they are very much human, but not at the same time. It's weird not fully knowing and getting explanation on what these are, but that's where I'm being drawn in more, because I want to know everything.
It was too dark to leave. I told myself I was old, inactive, that
I mean, it looks like he's...
I hadn't done anything to wake it.
I don't think...
I had
this
stopped at the
place?
market along the way to get some ingredients for grilled cheese.
Okay, so I have 2 slices of white bread, a few slices of cheese, and some butter. I also found a clove of garlic nearby, so I'm going to cut that up and mix it in with the butter. Let's start with chopping the garlic.
Yeah.
So I threw that garlic all into my iron cast pan. I'm gonna add some butter.
That's a
here.
good
It's
weapon
gonna
right there.
melt over the fire. Next,
Boom.
let's assemble our sandwich.
Oh, that's a cheesy good sandwich right there. Not gonna be super filling, but I mean, you take what you get. And sometimes you don't want to gorge yourself. Too much food is going to make it harder for you to run away, because then you might retch. And now that's just a whole stench that could attract things. Things you don't want to deal with. But if these nesters are also very...
Northeast winds around 5 miles per hour. Chance of rain 20%. Sunday, mostly cloudy. Highs in the lower 60s.
In fact, we haven't seen wildlife. Maybe the nesters are eating wildlife.
Alright, so this fire has died down enough so I can throw the pan on with the butter and the garlic. We're gonna let that butter melt. This is actually a great level of heat for this butter. It's not too hot, not too cold. Gives the butter time to melt without burning it. Okay, the butter is nice and melted, so I'm going to throw the sandwich on now. Cooking over an open flame gives the bread and the cheese a rich, smoky flavor, which you'd never get on a gas stove, which is nice, but it's tricky because the heat is intense and uneven, so you gotta be careful. The goal is to toast the bread and caramelize the cheese evenly, and it's delicious.
Okay, so he talked how he was walking off the clipboard as past job. This man just sounds so much like he wanted to be a chef.
My grilled cheese is a little overdone. I never quite understood why people don't like their cheese caramelized. I mean, that's like the best part, you know, when the cheese hits the pan and nicely. Look at that.
Oh.
That is a grilled cheese right there. That's gonna crunch. All right, let's listen to this crunch. Woo! Let's go in. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I can taste that smoke.
Oh, I want grilled cheese now. Honestly, for the last couple things that he's cooked, it definitely felt like he enjoyed cooking back when the world was normal, and that he could have just wanted to be a chef instead was working in an office building, which just speaks to the fact that a lot of people have dreams. Never go after them.
Warm and toasty in my sleeping bag. I'm tired. I walked a lot today. Aside from the nest in the basement, which I think is dead. This was a pretty normal day, which
we love.
I don't have a whole lot of those. Whatever potential threat that is beneath me in this house, this really makes up for it. Nice warm place to sleep. I haven't heard anything either. I haven't heard anything in the basement, so.
Which is nice.
Good. I haven't heard anything in the perimeter. I like to keep my radio on. I keep my radio on for a few different reasons as I fall asleep. One, this is an omnidirectional antenna, and it has a 5-mile radius, so I can pretty much hear, you know, anything within a 5-mile radius, and then I can determine whether it's a friend or it's a threat.
Have we had a friend yet?
Secondly is a lot of radio broadcasts run on loops, and they can be actually surprisingly useful. One of my favorite channels is the Weather Channel. Let's see if we can get it.
The 2.54 and the relative humidity 86%. The wind was north at 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
See, and that is a very important channel to have, and I'm glad to see that certain things like that are still continuously working, because you really have to be strategic in how you're going to plan out your next day or next couple of days, because if weather's going to suck, you need to make sure that you get as much resources as possible and then hold yourself up and not bother with moving, and make sure that you are actually defended well and able to survive and not starve.
Yeah, so it's fully automated using unmanned meteorology stations around the U.S.
Love that.
And it transmits, real-time weather data, so I can tell how cold it's going to be tonight or what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, so I can plan. And thirdly, I like the sound of radio hiss and radio static. It just helps.
White noise helps.
Helps me sleep.
White noise in a silent world needs something.
It's time for this man to hit the hay.
I'd like to point out he does have a blade and stuff right there to protect himself.
Right here.
But again, if these
Stay alert.
nesters are too strong, what good will they do?
Good night.
Peace out,
I
good
left
sir.
my radio running that night. It just made me feel safe. And I fell fast asleep.
Now we're gonna cut to a jump scare. Hasn't really been much of jump scares. It's been more building and thrills.
Definitely hear something.
Oh, we haven't had that much of thrilling jumps in this? And too many freakouts?
Hello?
I think that was a shadow. I think that was a shadow. I think that was a shadow. I'm really hoping to God that that was a shadow.
I swear I heard something, but I think I'm losing my mind. So just turn this off.
I mean, we know he made it to day 8 in that house. Immediately, I have to go into the next because...
Okay, I don't know.
Oh,
Since
now we're
I've seen
jumping
another
forward.
human being.
Because again, we
I
knew he
was
got to
attacked
day
by
8
a
in that
nester
house.
today. I was out on the northern end of the state when I wasn't paying enough attention to my surroundings, and I ran into a nester. It tried to maul me, and it ripped my shirt.
Aw,
Luckily, it didn't draw any blood. So,
that's good.
after the attack, I had to quickly regroup and get cleaning supplies, so I headed for a market. Luckily, I had prepared earlier in the day, reinforcing traps and baking cookies. So on
Okay, so he does actually have firearms. I'm sorry. Where were these before? Because I'm sorry, this will become your best friend in these instances of where, like, oh, I'm not paying attention. Oh, it snuck up on me. Bro, the moment it sneaks up, it's just pop, pop, and now it's down, and now you're not getting mauled and losing shirts.
So when I got back after the attack, I could relax and recover while the traps did their job.
Ooh,
But
man,
something
this is
followed
he's
me back.
treating himself.
Come right this way.
He lured it into his trap. And he's enjoying himself, too. Is he gonna lose his mind?
I woke up early. It was a quiet morning, so I brewed some coffee and prepped some cookies.
Nice combo.
All right, I got a pot of coffee brewing. Got a fresh cup right here. I'm gonna prep some cookies for tonight because I'm going to the northern side of the state later today, and it's a trek, and I just want something sweet for when I get home, so I'm gonna prep here. It's a super easy recipe. It's 3 ingredients, and it's absolutely delicious.
Peanut butter
I
cookies?
think that'll be really nice for when I get home later tonight. So the ingredients are peanut butter, sugar, and eggs. Like I said, very simple.
Peanut butter cookies
So
are
we're gonna
amazing.
do 1 cup of peanut butter.
The 3 ingredient peanut butter cookies smack because they are so soft and chewy. They don't harden up and they don't give such a crunch.
Next, sugar. In goes the sugar.
That's a lot of sugar though.
Finally, 1 egg. Can't believe how simple this recipe is, seriously.
Oh, those cookies are so easy to make. Your traps are still up, right? He's never been interrupted before while cooking.
Okay, everything's all good. Just a nester. Nester at the door, but he moved on.
And this is kind of like the consistency we're getting.
Okay, so they do move around during
So
the day.
next we have to roll them into balls and put them on a baking sheet, a little bit of parchment paper. Roll them into balls, just like that. Okay,
And then take a fork and
perfect.
flatten them
I'm gonna
down.
try some of this batter. All right, come on. So now
Can't go
next what I
wrong.
want to do is I'm going to flatten them into cookies and give them just kind of a cute little design with this fork. So I like to do a little crisscross design.
Crisscross applesauce, baby.
It's actually a little bit easier if you smush them down first with your hands and then put the design on. Again, the design is optional. I just, I got nothing going on, so.
I
So
always
these
use the fork and flatten.
are ready to go and be cooled down. And later tonight, I'm going to bake them.
After prepping the cookies, I made my way north. I had seen on my map there was a clearing with various structures, some type of facility, and I wanted to see what it was.
Interesting. Could that be where the nesters are? That one's wearing a suit. So okay, I'm leaning towards people got changed into these things. And a lot of them are very much bald.
All right, we're here at this strange facility, so I'm just gonna wander around and see if there's anything here. I found this strange sculpture.
Huh.
I'm gonna continue to walk the grounds.
Not a whole lot of buildings in between, just a lot of odd structures.
It's a
so
cold
far.
day today. I'm looking forward to a warm fire tonight. This one right here.
Yeah, just a lot of odd standing out buildings. That's about
What is
it.
that?
Then we have spots of brush and then walkways to it that is very flat.
This is a really interesting figure here.
Uh-huh.
This looks like some sort of like a colonial building that's melting. For the last
What the
couple
heck?
weeks, I've been squatting in this house. It's got
Last couple weeks. Okay,
running
so yeah.
water, has a
Been very much
running
surviving.
stove. It has electricity, although I'm not really supposed to turn it on at this time. Wandering around the cities and the towns that are now vacant. I found a mall. Wasn't
we
really
saw.
anything there. I found some sort of an underground corridor. That was pretty cool.
You have to take everything in and just enjoy it yourself. Walking around very busy malls start to trigger me, and I'm like, I can't be around people. I need to walk away.
These books. Darkest Hours.
Oh,
I should
nerd
probably
tag.
rewrite that book myself. Whoop. Hello. I'm gonna keep walking.
Not the books you could write about this time period for you, that if anyone else comes afterwards.
Oh
Bestseller.
boy. I tell you what, I'm feeling a little bit lonely today. You find a weird place like this, but you don't have anybody to kind of, share it with. I really miss laughing. I laugh to myself a lot these days, but I miss the camaraderie of laughing with another person. I gotta admit, I
does
used to
hit
have some
different.
pretty elaborate jokes. I remember as a joke, I changed my name to my father's name, Gail, and I started to dress like him and wear his glasses and stuff like that, and it was funny. I mean, I think he started to get really upset when I started to wear his pajamas and sleep in his bed, make copies of his social security card. Then it got he didn't really think that was funny.
Yeah, that's not funny. That's kind of, that's a no-no. You don't do that, because now you're committing fraud and identity theft. But I do like the fact that now we actually have a last name, Gale. So, because we don't actually know who he is. He's not formally introduced himself, but now we're getting to put more and more pieces together.
Look at this. I'm gonna take a load off for a minute here. Seems like as good a place to sit as any. Found these hash browns
which sounds pretty good right about now.
Wait, you found them?
And they're very crunchy, very filling, you know, well seasoned.
Potatoes hit different.
I can't remember the exact brand.
And potatoes are the
A
best.
lot of the supermarkets in this area still have running power, which is pretty cool.
Love it.
Hopefully, the generator's still working at this particular grocery store. Keeps it running, which is nice. I'm feeling a bit jumpy today.
Give it a
because
month and see what happens.
I don't know, I've been noticing a lot of folks out in the woods lately outside, at least out back of where I'm staying right now. They haven't really paid me any attention except for one incident. Actually, I had to burn one of these figures that was out in the back of the house. Wow, it really opens up out here.
We didn't really go too deep into that one.
Wow.
And he kind of just breezing over it.
Wow.
This is, I mean, his regular life, so why focus on it? Okay, so again,
I gotta say, I feel a
odd
little
buildings.
bit better being on this open space than in the closed-off woods. Is this like a home that was like almost built?
That's what it looks like. How to? No, maybe not a
These
home.
little stools here.
Maybe like a
Gosh,
meeting
should've brought
area.
gloves. Really not fall time anymore. I mean, it's not like early fall. I wish I kept like a calendar of days. I don't really know exactly what month it is. I'm gonna guess it could honestly be mid-December for all I know.
Ooh,
All right, let's keep moving.
gotta be wise in the wintry months for sure. What the heck? What are all these buildings? I mean, he did say, because it was around this time in the beginning that he said that he
What
got
is this thing?
sidetracked and distracted and didn't notice a nester.
Oh, there's a lookout. Oh, it goes to here. I can see the radio tower from here, and that's about a mile south of my house, so my house is just over those hills. I can't wait to get back. I really need to start a fire. It's freezing. Goodbye, little sculpture, statue, lookout.
At least there's nothing wandering around in the open area. Gotta do what you can to entertain yourself.
All right, this is our next bizarre sort of structure we have here.
Now, when you said facility, I was thinking obviously structures and buildings that could have been used to store science
Well,
projects and all that.
This
And
is definitely one of the
experiments.
stranger structures that I found at this facility. Oh,
Like
I'm coming down.
something that could have been government led,
Oh.
but
Come.
odd buildings, structures. Ooh. Found a house.
Paul Pierce. Let it rain. Oh, God, I stink. This was a much needed fun experience. You know, things have been a little tight, a little serious lately. You know, I've been
On the
feeling a
run?
bit spooked out by some of what's been going on around my house, you know. A lot of times it feels like you're pushed out of a place, and I've been starting to get that feeling a little bit more and more lately. It's getting dark, so I do need to get home because I don't want to be out after dark. Things don't get better after dark.
Once
No.
again, I mismanaged my time. As if I'm looking to find pain. I could feel it on my skin,
It just ends up happening.
and that's when
Oh.
it struck. There was something different about this nester, though. I kept thinking I lost him, and then I'd see him again. Usually they forget quickly, but not this one. I was able to gain some distance between me and it.
Why do they all look like that?
Luckily, it had a very distinct sound, so I could track its distance from me on my CB radio.
Uh-oh.
Next, I had to get some cleaning supplies to wash off the dirt from the attack and calm my nerves.
Tricked yourself at that point. You've earned it.
Alright, I gotta be quick about this.
Also, imagine a target at the end of it all. Just everything is yours.
Okay, let's see.
What's weird and wild though is we
Gentle
haven't
milky toner that soothes and hydrates the skin.
seen
Soft
leftovers of
almond
other
formula that
people.
nourishes and balances the skin.
We haven't, like, that's the thing, we haven't seen remnants. We haven't seen random pieces of clothing just lying about. We haven't seen flesh and bones. Like, everything of people gone. Not a trace, no evidence, just him, and now these entities known as nesters. I mean, saw the one that looked like it was wearing a hospital gown, saw the one that was wearing what looked like a suit. So obviously it's that thought process of, oh, people are turning into these things. But that doesn't explain where the majority of population went, and the fact that we have a lack of evidence for it. Like, it's weird and wild. Everything is just gone. Because again, we have lack of
serum that boosts
animal
glow and
life.
evens your skin tone, or a silky serum with blueberry extract to nourish the skin.
Honestly, just, yeah, treat yourself. Gotta grab everything. Everything.
Sure enough, the Nestor followed me home. I figured if he was going to keep following me, I might as well lead him home into one of my traps. I'd recently updated them and I was excited to hopefully see them work.
Yeah, because now you got a friggin' AK on there, man.
Now, I'm not a firearm guy. I've never really owned a gun or even held a weapon. But I had recently come across an ammunition store, and I felt my circumstances warranted it.
Mm-hmm. Big time. Like, you gonna start becoming a gunman in this. This is again why I'm saying everything's just vanished, because a lot of these are not looted. Everything is still there. It's in Target, it's in the market, it's in the gun store.
It felt great being fully stocked up.
Everything is just
I
there.
felt safe. And with my arsenal, I was able to rig a fully automated frontline shooting system that I could control from the comfort of my home. But in order to do that, I needed to run to a hardware store to get parts and supplies.
Oh. I salute you in your efforts! America!
I rigged the system using PVC pipe, mechanical swivel, connected to a small control box that lets me manually operate and automate the weapons from my home.
Which, good, great, grand.
All an Esther needs to do is walk in front of the infrared center and boom. As soon as I got home, I rigged it. The next trap I'm particularly excited about because it's simple yet effective. I call it the mirror trap. The nesters towards the middle of the state are a bit more brain dead and mostly blind, unless of course an object is within a few feet of them. I learned that mirror reflections can really confuse these nesters. So I set up a series of mirrors on the front and the back lawn.
There's
If any
variations.
nester catches its own reflection in one of the mirrors, it'll likely attack it. They usually get cut up and bleed out. Like I said, simple. Third and final trap throws them off my scent. I call it the sound mat. I rigged a pressure mat outside my front door and connected it to a loudspeaker a few yards from my house. If a nester steps on the mat, it triggers an alarm. The sound draws them away from the house and towards the speaker. I've also left a bunch of brand new shirts soaked in lake water underneath the speaker. The idea is to confuse the scent and keep them focused on the speaker until they hopefully forget me. With the trap set,
Interesting.
I felt safe enough to let my guard down. While I waited for the cookies to bake, it took some time to clean myself up.
I mean, he's obviously speaking after all of this, so he's made it through the night. Like, right now we're just seeing the thrilling experience. In the moment it's intense, but that's where it's reminding of, oh, he's talking after, so it's matter of fact of he made it through.
I always need to take, like, so much shampoo. My hair is so long. I gotta cut it myself soon.
Welcome to my world.
Conditioner? I haven't conditioned in so long, honestly.
I mean, not one of the big things you're going to worry about.
I need to condition. It's like, it's just nice. Doesn't always have to be attached to somebody else touching your hair or something. I used to love, like, going to, like, a hair salon or someplace where, like, somebody cuts your hair and they, like, wash your hair and scrub your head.
Oh, it's the best.
Gentle facial cleanser. I really like maximizing my time. So while my conditioner is working, let's work on the face.
Honestly, when getting a haircut and they just do all that in your hair, I have almost fallen asleep.
I got this bubble bath stuff, so I'm gonna put this in. I don't know how much to put in, but
I mean,
more bubbles ain't bad, so.
no, not at all. Nothing wrong with that. Again, everybody deserves to
Get
treat
a bath bomb
themselves.
too. Oh. Oh, that's nice. That bath bomb was tickling me at the bottom of the tub. I hope I didn't get my tea. Oh, it feels so good to just wash all the dirt from the day off. Got some things here that I'm excited to try. So I'm going to try this. This is a face mask. H2O activated charcoal lemon juice. Deep detox. God, do I need it. Oh, that's like... Alright, well, here goes.
Just because that's the end of the world doesn't mean you shouldn't take care of yourself. It's important. Stay healthy.
Next I have these cucumbers.
But this is also the moment where
Now
you
I'm
could
gonna
get
take some deep
attacked.
breaths. In for 4, hold. Out for 6. Here I go.
This is also the number one thing that if you watch movies like Zombieland, they're very big on, don't do this. This is how you get got. Unless you know that you are in a very strong foothold,
Scrubbing my fingernails.
fortress, don't
Still
do
a
this.
lot of dirt in them. It's been 15. This mask is now home to all of my toxins. I'm gonna try these hydrogel eye pads. Patented 5-day hydration complex. So I mean, it keeps my eyes hydrated for 5 days. I don't even want to know what goes into making that possible. I feel very odd.
Yeah, just pretty much what I would do with that. Don't put it to waste.
That Nestor attack today was scary.
Well, I kept following you. Didn't want to forget you.
The weird thing was I knew it was coming. You can almost always feel a Nestor nearby by the way the air changes.
Interesting.
The air will brush my skin like warm Velcro, and my body tingles like a dose of Novocaine wearing off.
That's not a fun feeling. It's kind of just,
I've made the mistake of ignoring that feeling in the past, and it's almost got me killed every time.
This is where you keep a firearm on you.
I think a part of me wants to pretend that things are normal, and that feeling, it is anything but.
Gotta face your new normal now.
But training myself to notice the feeling of presence, it's the first line of defense. It's maybe one of the most important survival tactics to hone.
Gotta lean into that. Gotta lean into that gut feeling
Anyway,
and
I've
that
been in this
overall
bath
hunch.
a little too long, and I'm turning into a prune, so it's been way more than 15 minutes since these flapjacks have been on, so I'm gonna get out. Before I do, I can't believe I forgot to do this.
Again, it's the small things. It's the small things you miss.
So, I got all my fun little lotions and potions over here that I'm looking forward to trying. First, I'm gonna start shaving my neck.
Again, simple care.
I'm gonna put on some of this. This is a hydrating face serum. Learning to notice nesters' presence, by the way, is only useful with certain types. The ones
Oh.
further south, they tend to give themselves away earlier. They're slow, though. Mostly blind unless something's right in front of them. But once you cross their radius, they react fast and without hesitation. They're taller, stronger, but they don't rush you. The thing about them. Even when you feel their presence, it doesn't mean that they're coming closer. It usually means that they've already noticed you. Running doesn't help.
So he does know more
Running
about these
only
things.
tells them who you are. Alright, next is this moisturizer.
So it went from don't know anything about them, don't know
Feel
much
really
about
nice
them,
over the
to
serum. Oh,
day by day you get to understand your foe and
I can
your
feel my skin
adversary.
just drinking it up, going, thank you. I remember my mom when I was a kid, she used to make me water her flowers in the garden. She said if you listen really closely, you can hear them going, thank you. It used to kind of scare me. I was like really little when she told me that. It wasn't like a fun, cute thing, but as I got older, it was kind of funny. Eye cream.
It's the little things that parents try to do to entice their children to do stuff, and then children like you just told me about an eldritch abomination that
really
must be
nice.
destroyed.
My skin looks very dewy and vibrant. Used to hate cutting my fingernails as a kid. For some reason, it always makes my fingernails feel really weird. Once you cut your fingernails and you like touch them, it's like they're like sensitive. I can never really put my finger on it and explain it to other kids. I used to describe when you like lay on your foot and it falls asleep. I used to describe it as it feels like my foot is full of sand. People are like, what? I'm like, yeah, it feels like my foot is full of sand. And my mom was like, I don't know what to do about that.
I don't think anyone knows what to do about that.
A little bit of rose water.
Man, just giving himself the
Now I'm gonna
5-star
try
treatment.
this sort of like hair oily, sort of textural
And it's all
thing.
free, too!
I was amazed by that Nestor's ability to stalk and follow me today. Even when I seemingly lost him,
They're growing. They're
I
getting
couldn't believe
worse.
how he kept finding me. Felt like it was watching to see what I'd do next.
He's learning about them, and they're learning about him.
I'm certain he's on his way to me now. He's got to be out there. And I don't know if it was the attack or just some are more capable than others and have different abilities in that way. But he was locked onto me.
Which makes it terrifying when you run into certain types or variations.
Anyway. I'm gonna go check on those cookies. After I was finished, it was time to enjoy my cookies and do some hunting.
Come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby, I'm here.
I found this radio in a vacant lake house a ways back. It still works. I rigged it to the antenna on top of my house. It seems counterintuitive, but it's been luring nesters towards my house into the traps. Yeah, I figured keeps the surrounding areas safer, less nesters for when I do need to go out and get supplies.
Which is nice
What's
and
up,
helpful.
fuckers? Hey, out there, if you're looking for companionship, do I have a deal for you? I know just the place. There's a big house on top of a hill not too far. That one nester who was following me had a very distinct sound. So if I hear him, I'll know. Ah, you hear that alarm? You hear it? One was on my front doorstep. Not today. Not today. Get out of here.
Yeah, unless it actually breaks in.
There he is. That's it.
He's gotten very cocky right now, and I don't think that's good.
Him. That is him. Well, he's coming in clear. He's got to be right outside.
He didn't even make it past the frontline system. All in all, it was a pretty intense day, but very relaxing in the end. Anyway, it's been a long day too,
He seems very happy
and I'm
with
signing
himself.
off to hit the hay. Good night.
Now we're actually on the last entry into the series so far. And this is before they all disappeared. Right? Yes. Okay. Sometimes I don't remember the titles. Forgive me. I have a feeling this is not following immediately after last.
I've always felt alone,
He's going back down. Back to.
even
Oh.
before all this.
That was one of the tall things that said it was following him.
Like I won't be okay.
Oh, he's going down the rabbit hole.
A looming feeling like I'm constantly on the edge of a dreadful, sad existence and true happiness.
Oh, dude, what are you doing?
And in order to protect that true happiness and evade hell,
That's a risky game
I need
to play.
to fight Scratch. I feel pressure. I feel irritable. I feel overworked and misunderstood.
I mean, you are all
I feel
alone doing
threatened
all
by
this.
everyone. I feel alone. Like my life will crumble unless I grab onto it and shift and work it around. If not me, who else will?
I mean,
I think I feel alone because I was never willing to share the burden. You know, I had girlfriends, family, friends, a recovery network. And while I may be alone in my specific personal endeavors, I was not alone in the struggle of life because everyone in my circle struggled with life. They all had desires, fears, and
life sometimes
disappointments
is
and
just a struggle.
successes. They understand the feeling around all of this. Again, maybe not as it relates to my specific aspirations, but in their own subgroups of life. I could have shared all of this with them. I could be the biggest success or the biggest failure, and they'll always be with me. If only I let them in. I was not alone. But I chose to keep them shut out.
And now I feel alone deeply.
It's kind of hard to think about being alone
You can
when you're
share
dealing
what's
with
happening. It's never gonna feel like the perfect time with some people, but saying, you know, I had this thing not work out and I'm just feeling sad. Or I'm having fear about something and I just want to honor those emotions and share them with someone because it helps me feel less alone. I know I can't fix it right now, but I just need to be heard. But I always had this paranoia.
You're getting very much the sense in this entry that his mental health is taking a very heavy decline, and that's bound to happen when you're dealing with life like this, all on your own. There's no one to have that camaraderie with, which he speaks about so much. There's no one to have that fellowship with, no one to talk with, no one to rely on, because now you're relying fully on yourself, and that's going to start taking mental tolls. And you see it with the fact that he's playing these risky games of walking around on the balcony, on the railing. He's literally leaving a door open to a nester, almost inviting it in, and it makes me worried that something really terrible is going to happen to him soon.
This paranoia that this world wants to see me fail. That it only wants me to get vulnerable so it can use it against me.
You definitely see time has
this
passed though, because
world
his hair's been cut.
does not want me to succeed, because for me to succeed pulls me away from playing the game. And everybody wants you to just shut up and play the game too, because then they can feel good about playing. It distracts them from the emptiness of it all. You know, don't go after your dreams. It's not practical. Get a good job, work for someone else. Take a vacation once a year. Marry young. Get a hobby.
Welcome to how some people want life to be done.
This is as good as it gets. And I have this feeling towards a lot of people, this feeling like if I failed, then they get more of what they want from me. So I keep my life quiet. Only sharing superficialities, lightly brushing my fears with a smile on my face when really I am a knight covered in rusty armor, pulling my helmet closed so nobody can see my welling eyes.
Dealing with mental stress and health.
Yeah, maybe I'm just projecting.
situation
Maybe
is-
I wanted to take from others. So I'm paranoid. My inner world has become what I see in the outer world. I block and I try and manage what everybody knows around me and doesn't know so that I can control the narrative of my life. And that's where I go wrong, because what I'm really afraid of is life having its way with me. You know, deep down, I know I'm not in control. I know all these things that I'm trying to keep away are life molding me.
Our biggest
And what if I don't
fault is
like
thinking
what
we
life
control
molds me
everything.
into? You know, I always heard people say about their life, you know, I had no idea I was going to end up where I ended up. And that scares me. I want to know. I want proof from life that I'm going to be okay with what it does with me. I feel like I should have a say. It's my life.
I mean, now you gotta say, at the end of it all,
But it's not. And I know it.
the only thing is your options
Whatever
and
this
choices are
is.
limited.
Was given to me. I didn't create it. And there's too much chaos in this world to dictate where it's headed. I have control of so little. Some days I fight it. Other days I check out completely. Hide.
as if I can pause life. And I come out and I try again. And I get eaten up and spit out one more time. I'm always pausing to lick the wounds I received, trying to continually fight a monster. Anyway.
This series is freaking insane. Like, it is so wild because, again, I've said it before, we don't know what it's like because it doesn't get broadcast all the time of what people are feeling and enduring and going through and how they feel in these end of world situations, and this is really addressing it. We're really seeing what he's going through, what it's felt like, and addressing, like, this is what it was when the world was normal, and now this is what it's like because I couldn't rectify anything. And you're seeing him struggle with the fact that he couldn't be outspoken, that he couldn't say what he wanted to say, and now he's never given the option to. Like, I love how beautiful this is. This is so well made, this is so well done. Absolutely love this. If you enjoyed this too, and if you enjoyed this as well, you gotta make sure to smash that like button. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this. If there's any series like to see me react to, or any just one-off videos like to see me react to, give me some suggestions right down below. I take them under consideration. This was so well freaking made. I cannot wait for more. Oh my gosh, it's just such a good series, and I hope it goes on for more. I hope we get to see him improve. I hope we get to get more information out of the Nesters. I think it's going to be really cool to find out more about them and see what he becomes more and more capable of. And I'm also kind of interested to see where this could end. Also, if you're new around here and you've been enjoying just seeing, why not click that subscribe button and click that bell to get notified of my next video. I will see you all in the next one though. Bye bye.